You are a pastor or any man of God and you have nothing reasonable to say to all that is happening in Nigeria. Just shut up. Just shut it. Just shut up.
Okay, hi guys. So Pastor Femi Lazarus made a comment, not comments, when he was preaching, he actually said some things about the US, they are coming to Nigeria and what they intend to do. Their intention was not pure and stuff like that. So I'm going to play it for you. You listen to it because he actually got, a kickback or like attacked by, other pastors. And I'm going to also play that for you. Like the pastors that grew up in the north, Ebel Damina, he grew up in the north, and another pastor that is a northern as well. So I'm going to play them for you. Just sit back and listen. I'll get back to you.
There's been clamoring by America that they are killing Christians in Nigeria. Okay, it is not innocent. It is not innocent. When Goodluck Jonathan was in power, Nigeria needed to buy certain things to use in fighting that battle. The one who blocked us was America. We got machineries from a country, I don't want to mention that country, that was busy and they were having victories in Sambisa, all the places. The one who asked them to be sacked later was America. They are showing interest because they know that will divide the country. Then they can come in. Anywhere they step bonds. Any country that is richer than, in terms of mineral resources, than any country in Africa, it is Venezuela. Anywhere there is wealth, bonds. Be careful so that less they seem to be bringing help, but the idea is to penetrate and keep you bounded. There are countries that once they complain about your country, you are doing something right.
You are a pastor or any man of God and you have nothing reasonable to say to all that is happening in Nigeria. Just shut up. Just shut it. Just shut up. After all, that is what most of you do. You don't say anything. Thousands will be killed. Hundreds are being killed. As far as your offering and tithes keep getting intact and all those things, it doesn't concern you. Just shut up. Stop embarrassing people. Stop embarrassing the genuine men of God in this nation. Stop embarrassing them. Just shut up. People are being killed. Lives are being destroyed daily. Not one of you. You don't speak anything. You don't say a thing. You don't say a thing. You don't even bother. And when people that are genuinely speaking for the cause of the people are speaking and you come outside, you begin to bring propaganda. Just shut up. Many of you are bigoted. Go and check, many of you are bigoted. Bigotry has eaten you up. And the most annoying part is the fact that you come and be saying, God spoke to me. God spoke to me. God spoke to you that President Trump want to come and save Nigeria because he want to collect the resources in Nigeria. He wants to collect your mineral, your gold, and your oil. That's what God told you. Right? You are a dishonest person. Why have we come to this level? In the scriptures, if you go through the Bible, the men of God, the prophet of God, were known to speak against injustice, to speak against wickedness, but not in these days. Just shut up. You don't have anything reasonable to say. Shut it. What nonsense? What are we doing to ourselves in this nation? When God will save it, how many of you don't know how many years people have been praying? All the killings, the genocide. You come out as a man of God to say there is no genocide in this nation against Christian faith. You are a wicked soul. You are a wicked entity. To come out and say there is no genocide, you say let's keep genocide aside. Forget about the issue of genocide. You are a wicked soul. Just shut up. Many of you have no idea. I've lived in the north. I'm still in the north, serving in the north, leading God's people here in the north. Many of you have no idea whatsoever. You are in the south there, enjoying your AC churches and all that. That's fine. But if you don't have any reasonable contribution to make, just shut up and stop gaslighting people. For as long as I can remember, Christians have always been at the receiving end of anything in this country. There is insecurity, truly. But we all know that this insecurity is created by people that are milking the nation, mining resources, partnering with China with the Chinese to mine resources, and they are taking them abroad, taking them away from this nation, and they arm this bandit to secure them. So as a means of distraction. So why the activity of mining is going on, so to prevent the military men or the Nigerians to focus on them, they created insecurity. And so while you are focused on insecurity and all the killings and kidnapping, you will not even bother to check their activity. And that is the plan. And that's how they keep taking resources away from this nation. You know that. The government of that are people that know that this is not a hidden thing. They arm these bandits for the essence of distraction, to distract people. That is there. But we all know that there is a systematic jihadi agenda and Islamization against Nigeria. And you say Nigeria is a secular nation. How is a secular nation a member of an Islamic organization of the world or something? An Islamic organization, a world Islamic organization. Why will a secular nation be a member of a world Islamic organization? Why will a secular nation that is called a secular nation be practicing Sharias in some part of the state? Why will a secular nation have the inscription of the Nigerian military to be in Arabic, not in English, that everybody understand? You all are there. You are so dumb. You are there. You are following them to spread propaganda, to spread lies. These things have been going on for years. We know it. You all know it. I was born and brought up in Kaduna. I live in Kaduna. I live in Jos. We have seen all these attacks consistently. In Benue, in Kaduna, in Jos, in part of Nasarawa, in Taraba. Consistently. Christian community have been burned. Churches have been burned. Every time somebody insult Mohammed in France, the next thing is a church in Kaduna here, or in Genocide that is being burnt. We all know this, been going on for years. And you come out to say, forget about that Trump is only interested in the resources of Nigeria. You just shut up. Shut it. You don't have anything to say. Just keep quiet. Now for you to come and speak trash, embarrassing genuine men of God. As far as we know, most of you don't talk. Let the church, let the northern Christians be killed. Let them be killed in their squats in their hundred. It doesn't concern you. You keep going about your normal business. You don't talk. You don't bother. And that's it. Keep it that way. God will hold you accountable for that. But for you to come and counter or try to ridicule people that are speaking against this, that are fighting for the true cause of the genocide of Christians. Just 2 days ago, in a community in Benue, look how they massacre children, babies sleeping, and they massacre them. But you will not speak up. Not once have you come out to speak against the killings, but you are always quick to come and debunk when people are speaking, when people are trying to speak for the truth. If you don't have anything as a man of God, speaking to men of God this morning, if you don't have anything to say, just keep quiet, zip it. We thank God for the lives of Reverend Ezekiel. That man is a true apostle of Jesus Christ. We see what God, we see how the man has been fighting constantly. He could have left them. He could have left that community, but he's there fighting for people. You don't care. They don't have AC churches. They don't have big jeeps. They don't bother. They keep serving Jesus. You are there in your estate, in your cozy churches, and don't bother. Continue. You keep organizing programs and this, and keep breaking limit. That's your problem. No problem. But for those that are speaking against the injustice in Nigeria, let them speak. Don't silence them. Don't try to mock people's pain. Just shut up. You don't have anything to say. Shut it. How do we find ourselves here in this situation where we cannot speak truth to the power, that you cannot come out and speak confront the government on what they are doing? But God is raising a Cyrus for us all the way from America to come and fight the cause. The man never said he's coming to dethrone the government or to overturn topple the government. He didn't say he was coming to fight Muslim or to kill Muslim. He said, I'm coming to kill terrorists, specializing the terrorists that are killing Christians, and you are fighting it, and you are speaking up to say he's interested in your resources. You are speaking out to say he's interested in your resources. Trump is interested in your resources. He's interested in your gold and silver that the Chinese have been taken away. And you think that is all what this. So people were crying. It was the crowd of people that got the attention of this man. You act as if you don't know, but because it is your kinsman, I'm a Yoruba man too. But I will never be a bigot. I will never be a bigot. I hate bigotry. I hate bigotry. For that is my person, it's my tribe. Because most of you are benefiting directly from the corruption of this government. You are a man of God, you don't have anything to say. Shut up. Shut up. Don't mock people's pain. Don't ridicule people that are speaking up. Don't come and tell us that there is no genocide. I accept you want the wrath of God to come upon you. Let we that are speaking, we will continue to speak. We thank God for the lives of Prophet Ebuba. We thank God for the life of Dr. Paul. We thank God for the lives of Reverend Ezekiel. Reverend Ezekiel Dochemo that in Jos. We thank God for those that are speaking. But you that don't speak, keep quiet. If you cannot speak anything reasonable, don't come and mock people's pain to say there is no genocide. I am Apostle Michael Olo Okere, and I will never be silent anymore. Because while you are being silent, while you are trying to hide under the protection of the government or try to get favor, people like Gumi, people like Sheikh Gumi are begging Nigerians to pamper terrorists. No, don't kill them. Don't shoot at them. Don't bomb them. Give them amnesty. Negotiate with them. Which nation in the world negotiate with terrorists? But why the Islamic clerics are fighting? We saw. I have a document here. The minute of a meeting held made about in the year 2010, where they were planning strategically of how to execute jihad in Jos, Bauchi, and Kaduna, headed by Isa Pantami, the former Minister of Information and Communication under Buhari's government. These men are deep, they're strategic, the thing has been going on, they're working tirelessly to achieve it. You are there in your church in the south, and you can spew rubbish. Shut up! You don't have anything to say, shut it.
Do you know that one young man of God spoke about the genocide in this nation and his page was yanked out? Another young man of God was now saying that there's no genocide, that what US wants to do is to take our resources. A young man of God. That young preacher who is saying that US is coming to take our resources has not been to the north to minister. He doesn't know the north. These guys, when they are invited to the north, they stop at Abuja. If the Lord has called you guys, come to Yobe and speak the name of, let's see, come to Kano. They will talk about living and dying for Jesus' birth. Their plane only lands in Abuja. Not even in Kuje, it's in Abuja town. Airport road, near the airport. Anything happened, they move to airport back. A man had been crying. He cried and said, Trump, look at this matter. And a young preacher who has more days to live is saying that US will only come and sabotage this nation. It means that his wickedness has just been revealed. He doesn't have the brotherhood in heart of his brethren that live in the north. He has detached himself from the cry of that man and those in the north, in Benue, in Nasarawa, in Taraba, in Kaduna here, in Plateau. The cry of these brethren in the north doesn't cause sleepless night for these guys. They are wicked.
Abel Damina is my name. Look. I couldn't wait to get back home and be a part of the ongoing conversation. There's been this conversation going on whether there's a genocide in Nigeria or there's no genocide in Nigeria. And I listen to certain individuals who say there's no such thing in Nigeria. Well, whether you call it genocide or you don't call it genocide, let me speak as a victim. I am not just a student of research, but I'm speaking as a victim of these gruesome circumstances around the Nigerian people, where innocent lives have been taken away by some people who think they have more right than others in this nation. And some people have reduced it to herders and farmers clash. No, sir. This has been ongoing. I grew up in northern Nigeria. My father was a pastor with the Assemblies of God Church. One morning we just woke up in Assemblies of God Church, Samaru Zaria. This somewhere adjacent the north gate of Samaru Zaria. My father was a pastor. All of a sudden we woke up in the morning, no provocation, nothing. And the next thing we were hearing was people were just running all over our house and the church with machetes and all of that. The next thing was they started pouring petrol all over the building, both the church and the house, because our house was attached to the church. And the next thing was flames. Everything was burned right down to ashes. We narrowly escaped, found a place where we could shelter ourselves in the military barracks. Eventually they brought us back to the lecturers' quarters of ABU Zaria, and we had to camp with a family for weeks and months before we could rebuild and start life all over again. That is long. I'm talking about 1986-87. What about the Metasine situation? Metasine was a sect of the Islamic religion who went around burning and destroying and killing Christians back in the 80s. This is far before there was anything like farmers and herders clash. Then fast forward. What about in the year 2000, where over 2,000 people were killed in Kaduna? Year 2000. What about the over 300 people that were victims of the Miss World in November 2002? All of them, they were not a part of the Miss World. They were just on their own. Something happened somewhere else and they became victims of it. Lives were killed, houses were destroyed, and whenever they are carrying out this charade, they will be shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they will carry their matches and carry whatever they have, and they will move in their numbers. And everybody on their way that is not chanting what they are chanting becomes a victim. I can go on and on. A few years ago I was preaching in Kaduna for a great man of God, and I only succeeded in preaching Sunday morning service. After the service, the next morning, as we were preparing for the next service on Monday, the next thing I was hearing was the whole city is on fire. Kaduna is on fire. Please stay in the hotel room. Don't come out. They are killing, they are burning churches, they are killing everybody. That is how we were stuck in a hotel. Even in the hotel, we were not sure of ourselves, because they were going from hotel to hotel, room to room, killing people that were not chanting Allahu Akbar. And somehow God saved our souls. After about 4 days, we were able to leave Kaduna. But unfortunately, a friend of mine who was a pastor, Reverend Northcote Andrew of blessed memory, was caught in the midst of this as he was escaping for his life. They caught him because he was wearing a collar of a bishop. They hacked him to death, dug the ground, buried him, and put a cross there. It is that little wooden cross that made people know that there was a corpse in that place, and this, my friend, was buried. These are real life situations. So for somebody to just sit down in the comfort of his home, maybe somewhere in the south, and be saying there's no such thing in northern Nigeria, my brother, you've not been a part of it. We've been right in the heart of the fire. I remembered one night, these Muslim boys were all over the place in my school, and they were shouting Allahu Akbar. They were looking for me. I had to escape. That night, my saving grace was that I found a female hostel and I slept under the bed. By the next day, I left town. For what? I did nothing. No provocation, just because I am preaching the gospel. And of course, some of them believe that once you are not of the Islamic faith, you are an infidel, and they believe that if you kill an infidel, you will sleep with 7 virgins. All of this kind of indoctrination that leads to violence at the slightest provocation, whether it has to do with the people or not, you just get on the streets. What about the Reinhard Bonnke crusade? I'm talking about the Reinhard Bonnke crusade in Kano, where people were hacked, macheted, and killed just because a crusade where the gospel of Christ was going to be preached. And that is why I thank God for people like President Donald Trump, who lent his voice to to what is going on here. At least, for whatever is what, there's an ongoing conversation all over the world. The matter is no more put under the carpet. And we don't want just conversations. We want some action. We want some action. And in the midst of all this, it snowballed into the herders and farmers clash. It snowballed into banditry, and everything becomes very complicated. Very complicated. And people are dying by the day. There are people in northern Nigeria, places like Borno State, places like Plateau State, places like Benue State, places like southern Kaduna, where whole villages have been taken over by some of these bandits, by some of these Islamic extremists, by some of these Boko Haram people. They've taken over whole villages, driven the villagers away. And somebody said there is no such thing in Nigeria. Why do we have IDP camps? Why do we have IDP camps when we never had an earthquake? We never had an earth tremor. Why do we have IDP camps when there is no natural disaster? Other than the fact that people are being made victims of what they have no knowledge of. In a secular state like Nigeria, where all religions are permitted to be practiced, this ought not to be allowed. This ought not to be allowed at all. Our government have a duty. Now, when you live in a country like that, where you don't know what becomes of you the next day, you go out, you don't know if you're going to come back. When you go to church, you're not sure if you're going to come back. When you live in such a country, it's almost as if there's no government. And because the first responsibility of government is security of lives and properties. That's the first responsibility of government, whether at the federal level, at the state level, or at the local government level. Because the population don't have access to arms. But unfortunately, some of these bandits, some of these terrorists, some of these extremists, they are carrying AK-47s, and you wonder where did they get them from. In fact, it's unfortunate that at a point in Nigeria, there was even a local government in Borno State where Boko Haram drove all our Nigerian security forces and put their flag there. It's very unfortunate, and the government of Nigeria need to do something quickly. Otherwise, where this is taking us to, we do not know. This has to come to an end. The ADP camps need to be emptied. Let people go back to their homes. Let people go back to their villages. Let people go back to their farmlands. Let people go back to their habitations, so that they can live normal lives, so they can live the life they are supposed to live on earth. You know, this is very important, and this conversation is so critical at this time, and it's critical that I add my voice to it as a victim of this situation in a country like Nigeria. And I'm believing God that the day has come when this menace will surely come to an end. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Amen.
We have been crying out for over 30 years. Right from 2021. It is before that time, because 2021, this thing come glaring. There's a jihad moving to destroy Nigeria. Before 2021, there was a lot of casualties that will have been received all over the north. I would say Nigeria. But it has been silenced, enduring the pain, until a launch of the jihad came 2001. And the full blown was just moving. We are just enjoying it, pressing it down. Women are being raped. Come and see, we have to be slaves to the Islamic terrorists. They will force you to go and farm for them. If our local native people do not go and farm for them, then even if you farm, they know you have farmed. You will not harvest anything. Until this thing grown up to become a full-blown genocide. I have the statistics. I have been to the monument. I have called names. These are the names of people that have been killed in one day, one night, 501. This happened on the 7th March 2010 in Dogonahawa, Gemburuk. Gemburuk is a local dialect name from our forefathers. When they came, gradually our forefathers accommodated them in peace. But when they grown up with external forces, they changed the name to Dogonahawa. Abandon the native. This is a jihad movement. When they want to take the land, they invited Islamic terrorists from the far north, Niger, Chad. If Nigeria don't know about it, please know about this. Why did they cancel history in Nigerian secondary school? It's jihad. So they will not read about the history of how Ottoman Danfodio was moving towards the cause to force everybody in Nigeria to become a Muslim. But our forefathers blocked him from flowing into the south. They hit that the west, southwest, southeast, south, that they are supposed to receive. We are the ones that are receiving it at the middle bed. We stop that heat by standing on our faith in Christ. We refuse to submit our soul to Islam. That is why in one night, look at it, 501 people were killed completely in one night. I was there in the morning after the insurgent left. Come and see blood everywhere. In the process of carrying dead corpse from every house, from some on the road, some on the field, some in the gutter. Depends on where they met you. They slaughtered you. A woman gave me testimony that day. It was God in tears that saved her. When they came, they said Pharaoh, because it was during the moonlight that very day. When they came, chanting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, entering this village, she saw one of the insurgents after he has beheaded the head, blood of a Christian victim. He licked the blood. She was watching him, shivering. With her child, she covered his mouth. This is a religion that chant Allahu Akbar, calling people for worship. And the same religion, they shout Allahu Akbar, calling people to come and kill.
Okay, but Reverend, are we now saying that all of the 500 plus persons that were killed that night are Christians?
All of them are Christian.
Because I want us to look at some national data here. In 2024, Human Angle Media reported nearly 9,600 deaths nationwide, and it estimated roughly 60% of the deaths were Muslim and 40% were Christian victims, and this was driven largely by farmer-herder clashes, terrorism, and communal retaliation. So when we see figures like this, does this now challenge the position that the killings are religiously motivated, especially against the Christians?
Let me tell you something about these statistics. They say 60% Muslim. Killed by who? By Muslims. Based on different faith of sect. And do you know why this thing? It is the blood of the Christian that is fighting Islam. Those that have been killed. You see, when they came in, the factuals in Borno, they follow villages. On Sunday, they will enter a village and meet people worshiping on Sunday. And they will separate the male from the female. And all the male in the local area, like Gwaza area, Madagali, these are in the north, Borno area. And this is what is happening. Do you know something? They will slaughter all the male. Those that will survive in that church, they may have not come to church and they were able to escape death. And the women, they will select the one that they needed. They will rape them. They will do what they want. And this is one, they will leave the children at the mercy. Many of the Christian women relocated to the Middle Belt. And their land was seized. Their crops was vandalized. And even as I'm talking now, let the Nigerian government prove me wrong. Let them go to Ngoshe mountain around Gwaza. It has been occupied by Boko Haram. You can't climb that mountain. They declared it as their headquarters, a colony. And it is from there that they used to come down to come and kill. Now in all the village, after sending the Christian away, the Christian relocate. If you see Christian, it's in the urban area where there is security.
So looking at this clip, looking at this video, I've actually said this before. Some of these pastors in Lagos or in cities in the south, they enjoy a lot of freedom. But they don't actually know what these pastors in the north are suffering. Looking at Ebed Amina's encounter, in a day, just they woke up in the morning and their church was gone. Their house and their church was burnt down just like that, no provocation. So most times when you are in all these cities, you are doing message, we die for Christ, but none of them have gone to the north, actually the core north, and do crusades. None of them have gone to all those villages to go and say, okay, Jesus is Lord, and come back. So you can't be in the city and be making comments, passing comments about something that is happening in the far north. There are people there that understand what is happening, they actually know what is happening. I think Pastor Femi Lazarus should actually, look at, he should use wisdom and make comments most times, because there are people that are going through a lot in all those places. And him saying it, coming from him, a man of God, respected, you're not encouraging those guys over there. You understand? Saying that because they actually needed the help. So you saying it, you're telling them not to come, so that what is happening there will continue to happen. It doesn't make sense. So I'll personally advise him to mind or not mind, respectfully to tone his comments because of people that are looking up to him. And I pray that God will still bless his ministry, continue to increase him in his ministry. Amen.